Yo, what is going on guys, Flashverse here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 7, and we have a new synopsis release for The Flash Season 7 Episode 8 titled The People vs. Killer Frost, but also we do have a set photo to go over which does hint to our new main villain for the back half of the season, so I'll be breaking everything down during this video. But yeah, we are currently on a 3-week break at the moment, in which from the events of last episode, that being episode 7, we have had a couple of interesting things taking place, such as Killer Frost getting arrested, and from the trailer of episode 8, it seems like for this episode we will be having Frost being put on trial, and we will be seeing whether she is being sent to prison and that she is guilty, or whether she is not guilty and she'll be walking free. But also we should be progressing with this Force's storyline, in which this synopsis does tease some interesting things about the Speed Force, and I'll be talking about where this could potentially go. But with episode 8 picking up during May the 4th, this would make it so we are a couple of episodes left into wrapping up graphic novel number 3, in which Episode 11 will be the finale for the Force's storyline, but we should be expecting these next few episodes to be big, as we are nearing the end of the storyline after all, so we should probably get like the main villain reveal during this episode at least. So yeah, I cannot wait to see what happens with that. But once we wrap up this storyline with graphic novel number 3, we'll be going into the back half of the season with graphic novel number 4, where we should be expecting Godspeed to be our main villain. But yeah, a couple of hours ago, we got our first look of Godspeed from The Flash Season 7, and I'll be going over that during this video. Now, just a quick heads up, from the time I'm recording this video, Kenneth DeGraff's would have still been on set doing his thing. So when his blog post is up, I will do a more in detailed breakdown, but for now, we have a set photo to go over from Frog Photo on Twitter, and we do have some details taking place during this scene as well, so I'll be going over that specific scene for this video. And then obviously once Kenneth DeGraff has released his blog post, then I will do a more in detailed breakdown for that as well. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Okay, so firstly, breaking down the synopsis for episode 8, Caitlin fights to clear Killer Frost. With Frost facing an unjust punishment for her past crimes, Caitlin goes to great lengths to save her sister. Meanwhile, Barry's efforts to protect the Speed Force, Nora, lead to a shocking discovery. So yeah, that is a very interesting synopsis and does reveal a couple of interesting things in regards to who our main villain could potentially end up being, but also we do have more details taking place with this Frost storyline. So starting from the first line of the synopsis, Caitlin fights to clear Killer Frost. With Frost facing an unjust punishment for her past crimes, Caitlin goes to great lengths to save her sister. So from the trailer we did kind of get a small hint to Frost's punishment, I guess. So during the trailer we had the prosecutor asking to get rid of Frost's powers, and I'm guessing this would be if she wants to walk free she would have to give up her powers. Otherwise, she would accept her past crimes and go to prison. I believe those were the punishments inflicted on Frost. Now the thing with this is, although Team Flash say that she is innocent, in reality she isn't. She was a villain during season 3 and she had multiple counts of attempted murder. So there is no surprise that she should face the consequences of this. Although she has never killed anyone as far as I remember, she was still a criminal. However, as I have mentioned during my trailer breakdown, it will be interesting to see if the jury will also take into account that she is a changed person and that she is now fighting crime alongside the Flash, so she's now a hero. And the thing with this is, she was only a villain for half of season 3. She wasn't even a villain for like a whole year. However, from seasons 4 to 7, she is a hero, so she's been more of a hero than she has been a villain. Now, I am expecting Frost to actually be sentenced and go to Iron Heights and actually go to prison, just so they find a way to actually separate both Killer Frost and Caitlin, saying that it would be a pain in the backside for Danielle Panabaker to just continue acting as two characters in the same scene. So if they are able to separate Killer Frost as well as Caitlin, it would be a lot easier for Danielle Panabaker to balance out the two characters, because if they are to film a scene in Iron Heights, she could easily go into the makeup chair and become Frost like that, and then when she's in Star Labs, she could easily be Caitlin. But when they were both in Star Labs, it would have been a huge pain in the backside for Caitlin to actually do both of them. Sorry, for Danielle Panabaker to actually do both of them. So I'm guessing they would put Frost in prison so that they could separate that and balance out the Frost and Caitlin stuff without it being too much of a hassle for Danielle Panabaker. But since Frost is in big trouble, you obviously would expect Caitlin to be not so happy about this too. And as the synopsis says, Caitlin goes to great lengths to save her sister. So yeah, it will be very interesting to see what exactly Caitlin does to help clear Frost's name. I definitely don't think Frost will be set free. That's what I think will happen. I do not think that she will be set free. I genuinely think that she will go to prison. So it will be very interesting to see how Caitlin deals with that, and maybe later on we could have it so when she's in prison she becomes like, more corrupted and just like, more broken or something like that, and she ends up being a villain again. That would be very interesting as well. But lastly, to go over with the synopsis. Meanwhile, Barry's efforts to protect Speed Force Nora lead to a shocking discovery. Now, you guys know I have had this theory saying that the Speed Force is the main villain for this graphic novel, and she has been very suspicious from these past 2 episodes. And although Barry seems to have gained her trust from the ending of last episode, I think what the Speed Force is actually doing is that she purposely appeared in the form of Nora Allen on purpose, so it's easier to manipulate Barry, because Barry would see a face which he would easily trust because it's the face of his mother. So I'm saying that the Speed Force put the face of Nora Allen on purpose so she could easily manipulate Barry and easily make Barry join her side, because we have seen the Speed Force go into multiple different forms. Like in season 2, she has been Iris, she has been Joe, so she could turn into anybody she wants. But why would she choose Nora? So I'm guessing that she wore the body of Nora on purpose. And yes, although you could contradict this by saying, well, she has appeared as Nora Allen from previous seasons as well, such as season 3 and also season 6. I'm just still following along the lines that she purposely used the body of Nora to easily manipulate Barry. That's just my theory. But last episode we did have the Speed Force and Barry being back on good terms, and it seems like they will be going after the forces together. But then during this episode, I'm guessing that Barry will find out that the other forces were actually innocent or something, and this shocking discovery, which the synopsis is alluding to, could potentially be that it was the Speed Force who was the villain all along. And maybe she has this plan to maybe absorb and take control of all of the forces. Who knows? And maybe once the finale of this graphic novel rolls around, we could have it so Barry teams up with the other forces. So he teams up with Fuerza, Dion, and Psyche, and all of them face off the Speed Force. I think that would be pretty cool to see. But yeah, seeing the Speed Force as the main villain would be very cool to see as well. And also having Barry's reaction to that would be very interesting as well, because she has the face of his mother after all. So Barry wouldn't be too happy about this. But lastly to go over is in regards to the back half of the season. So the cast and crew were filming episode 15 just a few hours ago. It's probably been 2 hours ago or something since this photo came out. And as I said during the intro of this video, Canada Graphs would still be on set from the time I'm recording this video. From the time this video probably goes up on YouTube, he would have already been done and probably would have had his blog post out. So when he does release his blog post, I will do a more in detailed breakdown of this. But we got our first look of Godspeed from this shot over here, and this is from Frog Photo from Twitter. But yeah, this is our first look of Godspeed from The Flash Season 7. Now what is happening from this set is that Barry is facing off against not just Godspeed, but 7 different Godspeeds. So last season we obviously got the Godspeed clones being introduced, and during episode 18 we had the mystery behind the one who sent me once infinite velocity. But also, as a teaser for this season, it was said by Eric Wallace that we would be meeting the original Godspeed from this season. And from these set photos, I'm guessing that he indeed is our main villain after this Force's storyline. I think Godspeed will be the main villain for graphic novel number 4. But as I said, guys, it wasn't just one Godspeed out there, but there was around 7 different Godspeeds. So the question is, has the real Godspeed arrived alongside his various different Godspeed clones? Or will he be having this overpowered ability where he will be able to be in more than 2 places at once, which is something he's able to do in the comics. However, on the show we have seen various different speedsters be in 2 places at once by creating a speed mirage or like a time remnant, for example. So it would take away, like, you know, that wow factor if Godspeed ends up doing it, because we've seen other speedsters being able to do that before. So maybe for Godspeed they ended up doing something a lot more overpowered, but instead of making one copy of himself, he can create various different clones of himself. That would be pretty damn overpowered, but it would be very, very cool to see. But I'm guessing that would be Godspeed's power over him being able to just create another copy of himself and appearing in 2 places at once, but rather he'll be able to create multiple different copies. So from what I could tell over here, it seems like Godspeed will be the main villain of graphic novel number 4, and I don't think he will be an anti-hero like he is in the comics, but he will be a full-on main villain for the show, which I just cannot wait to see how the show handles. But yeah, as I said, guys, when Canada Graphs releases his blog post, I will make sure I do a more in detail breakdown while going over different set photos, because for now we only have this one photo which is released. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys think about the synopsis. Do you guys think Nora will actually be our main villain for the first half of the season? And be sure to tell me how excited you guys are to see Godspeed. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.